Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to reading for the week of November 21st. We're just going to jump right in here, as always, and we're going to do a past, present, future reading. You start off here with this Nightingale Spirit. I love this card in this deck. It says love is all around you, and of course, it could represent love, but it also kind of represents like the fierceness inside of you, Cancer, how truly powerful you are. There's another deck I have that has a nightingale on it, and it kind of like has this gigantic egg underneath it. So whenever I see this card, the Nightingale Spirit in this deck or the other one that I have, it always kind of like says to me that you are much more powerful than you realize, and I feel like you need to realize that not only are you much more powerful than you realize, but you start off with a Three of Swords, and you probably deserve a lot more than whatever, if you had a breakup, I feel like you deserve a lot more, is what this reading is saying. Let's just put it that way. If you went through a job loss or something else, like there's something, I hate to be cliche, right? But I feel like there's something so much better. There's something so much more rewarding coming in for you, and that's really what this reading is saying to me, quite simply. You have the Three of Swords, the Sun, and the Eight of Wands. You can see here that this bird is sitting on a horn as well. And so I feel like your words are extremely powerful with the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is also a card of manifestation. And you also have this focus on the positive card. So Eight of Wands was traditionally like the arrows of love. As I always say, we tell the universe what we want all the time. And the universe responds with like inspiration, which you have the Ace of Wands next. So follow your inspirations. But the universe can respond with like the people, places, and things that we need to get to where we're going. And you have the Magician as your center card. The center card is the most important card in a 9-card spread like this. So, I feel it's a very powerful time for manifestations for you, Cancer. I feel like you could be attracting a lot very quickly as well. I'm also getting something about moving here. So some of you, if you're moving, it definitely looks like a very positive new beginning. I mean, you have the Sun. So a lot of happiness and joy coming in for you. It's kind of funny because it is popping into my head as like needing to get out into the sun. So maybe some of you need to get outside. Maybe some of you need to get out in nature. I also feel like there's something like easy coming in for you, which is interesting. I almost never say that. You can see here he's holding this banner, this little child, baby, whatever on the Sun card. That banner, it's big, it's huge, and it's kind of like meant to represent the fact like he's holding it very easily. He's not struggling to hold that banner, and sometimes I feel with the Sun that can represent something that just has like a certain flow to it that enters into your life that is just easy, just kind of happens or whatever. So I feel like there's almost like a reward. And it's funny, on the bottom of the clarification deck, by the way, we have the Sun. I'm going to shuffle it in a minute, but it is funny that the Sun was kind of like on the bottom of there. You have the Three of Swords. I feel for some of you definitely went through a separation or a breakup recently or some sort of difficult challenge. Three of Swords is meant to be temporary. It's raining on the Three of Swords, so it kind of represents just a temporary situation. It's like never something that lasts for a very long time. So let's dig into this. We're just going to clarify through here. With the Three of Swords, you have the Star. Love it. I love readings where I get the Sun and the Star together. To me, that is fame and fortune. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to become famous, but if you do anything where you try to get attention, like if you have a YouTube channel, if you have a business, if you just want love, I would be doing whatever you can to get as much attention as you possibly can, because it's always worth it whenever you have the Sun and the Star together. I also feel that for some of you could be going through healing, obviously with the Three of Swords and the Star, that could represent some sort of healing. With the Sun, you have the Six of Cups, could be thinking about a past situation, but you know what's weird is that Pisces had the Sun like twice in their reading as well, I think, and the Sun kind of represents your inner child. This pretty much confirms it to me for you, which is different than the Pisces reading, but the Six of Cups is something about your inner child, and the Sun has your inner child on it. So I feel for some of you, it could be one of those weeks where you're kind of revisiting some ideas from maybe when you were younger, or, it could just be like from a couple years ago. But if you're revisiting any ideas, like business ideas, work ideas, even just if you want to have fun, like fun ideas, like hobbies and things like that, again, it's kind of interesting when this happens where it's like everybody gets a very similar message. And I feel like anything you can do to like enjoy yourself would be very important. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Hierophant. You have the Hierophant twice here. Wouldn't surprise me if some of you are focused on love. This kind of, to me, also represents the connection between heaven and earth. The Hierophant is the bridge between the heavens and the earth. So he communicates with the other side. He can help you manifest things that you want to manifest in your life. And it's almost like the time is right, you know? It's like, that's what I'm getting here. He also represents initiation. He has 3 levels to his crown, and those 3 levels represent 3 stages of mastery, basically, which are initiation, apprenticeship, and mastery. But it's almost popping into my head as if, like, maybe you've been trying to manifest something for a long time in your life, and it hasn't been manifesting, and it's like now all of a sudden, you know, a manifestation enters into your life, but it's probably because the time is right, or, you know, who the hell knows, right? Next, in the area of your present, you have this new moon in Sagittarius. It says focus on the positive. Obviously, I definitely would keep it positive at this time. You have this first quarter moon in Cancer. I wanted to clarify this. It says push through any insecurities. And I feel that for you here, for sure. Like, again, as far as manifestation is concerned, I feel that we have to kind of meet certain standards sometimes, or we have to give off certain vibrations if we want to manifest whatever. Like, if we want to manifest love, that carries a certain vibration. If we want to manifest money, that carries a certain vibration. So I feel part of this could be like insecurities you need to let go of. You have the Two of Wands, the Magician, and the Ace of Wands. I'm wondering if this Two of Wands is kind of talking about letting go of something here, Cancer, because you can see that he has that wand behind him. That wand behind him represents something that is complete, something that is kind of done. He's completed something, and he's holding on to that wand in front of him, and he has the whole world in his hands. It's like there's a new opportunity, which is right here. The Ace of Wands, right? The Ace of Wands is the new, exciting opportunity that I feel he is holding on to here. It's almost as if this new opportunity gives you the world, and that's kind of like what's popping into my head. I don't want to sound overly dramatic here, but, you know, I'm wondering if you also don't really quite see it yet. You know, not to brag here, but, you know, it kind of reminds me of this channel. As I always say, I never thought, you know, when I started 8 years ago now, which is crazy to me, doing this on YouTube, no tarot readers on YouTube had over 10,000 subs at that time, you know? And it's like I never in a million years would have thought that I'd have over 700,000. So, you know, it's like I didn't really see the opportunity. And I feel, I'm not saying it's going to take 8 years for you, but there's like an opportunity coming in here for you where you're like letting go of something from the past. You can see this castle is crumbling right here, represents out with the old, in with the new. And the Ace of Wands is itself is the new opportunity, something that you actually desire to do. And that's kind of what I feel here is that you've attracted something that you truly desire to do with the ace, with this magician. You can see he has this snake wrapped around his waist, and that snake is the Ouroboros, represents reinvention. So I feel for some of you, it's like what you are attracting is literally going to be changing who you are. And I feel that this is in the sense that you could be stepping into like a leadership position here with the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands can represent taking the lead or being a leader. It could also just be that you're doing something more independent, I'm getting as well. This could definitely be in work or business. For others, if you're looking for love, I do feel this could be like a new connection coming in for you. It's kind of funny because I don't really see this as a love reading necessarily, but I do feel like someone has their eye on you. Someone wants to pay attention to you or something here. So we're going to have to see what that is. With the Two of Wands, you have the Temperance card. Temperance is about transformation and turning one thing into another. I'm like, I wouldn't be afraid to play if I were you. Sometimes I feel Temperance says that something needs to be molded like clay. And I feel like I said this to you recently as well, where I want to see like someone trying to like mold a piece of clay or, you know, turn a piece of clay into a statue, right? But I feel something is being molded in your life, and you are going to discover, you know, through molding it, that's where this discovery is going to happen. I'm getting the word discovery on that Two of Wands. And again, Two of Wands can be a card of discovery, but I feel to discover like this right here, this is the path to glory, that crown back there. You can see the path on the Temperance card there. It's like to discover it, I feel you have to kind of like play around with something, or you have to kind of experiment, as I always talk about. With the Magician, You have the Queen of Pentacles. See, I love this. To me, I'm getting chills because, I know whenever I get a chill that is confirmation. What I kind of got on this card is that you're getting the resources you need. If you feel like you don't have the time, the effort, the money, the energy or whatever, I kind of feel like a little bit of a boost coming in for you here. And it could be financial. I feel in any way, if someone owes you money, I feel like this could be the money coming in. If you could just be getting a bonus or something at this time in work. And I feel whatever this bonus is what lifts you up at this time. If you want love, by the way, it could be a Capricorn coming in for you. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Ace of Swords. See, it's a time of truth. It's like, why do you think all this truth is coming out? Like, I was just thinking about this the other day with that, FTX, that crypto exchange that got exposed for being a scam, right? It's like, why do you think this is happening? It's because of the astrology. I keep talking about this and it keeps happening. It's like, to me, there is just too much truth in the astrology. It doesn't matter what is happening. The truth will be exposed, and this is nothing. I think what people don't realize is like that is like nothing. That is the tip of the iceberg as far as, exposure is concerned. I promise you, we will see many more truths about anything coming out. But the good news for us is if we're living our inner truth, then we will be extremely successful. And that's what's going on here. It's like, if you're a lawyer and your inner truth is to be a tarot reader, right, then you're not living your truth. So if you switch, or if you start, that doesn't mean you have to quit being a lawyer, by the way. You could just switch to kind of do tarot on the side. As long as you're doing something that belongs to your inner truth, you are going to be very successful here, Cancer. And again, like I said, we have to make money. So I totally understand if you have a career and you can't just quit, right? But what I would say is, as long as you're kind of sprinkling in some of your inner truth into your daily life, even if it's just a tiny little practice or, something that you do during the day, it'll probably change your life. And I don't mean that to be dramatic. You have this Yang energy card. I love this card as well. Kind of reminds me of the Ace of Wands. It's that starting kind of inspirational energy. And I always say with the Ace of Wands that sometimes I feel the Ace of Wands is just that little spark of hope that we need to, kind of manifest our dream life or to just live a better life. And that's what's coming in here, something new. You have the Page of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Strength card. I do feel like for some of you, someone has their eye on you with the this Page of Swords. So it could be love coming in for you. I feel like this person's like a little bit stuck in their head. Is this a bad thing, Cancer? I would say no. I don't necessarily like when people maybe have their eye on you and they're not saying something. So we're going to have to see if this person is going to take action. For others, I feel like this is encouraging you to play. I feel like it's encouraging you to explore new ways to play with the things that are your truth, right? It could be some sort of hobby, could be a business idea, could be writing. Some sort of practice is what's popping into my head. And it's popping into my head as very important. You have the Hierophant here. Hierophant can represent marriage, and you do have it twice. If you want love, I feel like it's here, but probably not a major focus for you this week. Again, you're all different, but just in this reading, people always get mad at me. They're always like, you hate love. I'm like, no, if it just doesn't show up, I'm not going to force it to be a love reading. Sorry. But what I would say here is I feel like for most of you, you're focused on kind of ascending, reaching new heights is what I am getting here on the Hierophant, which when you do that, then you attract better love anyway. So there you go. You have the Strength card as well, taming your inner beast. I always say that this lion is submitting to her. Its tail is in between its legs, so it is submitting to her will. It kind of represents something that she has to do every single day. She has to work on her inner voice, her inner critic. She has to get it to submit to her, and I feel a lot of you could be doing some like personal development work, or you could be kind of like, fixing things in your personal life. Let's see here. With the Page of Swords, you have the King of Swords. So I do feel like this person will step up if you want love. Could be someone who's older than you with the King of Swords. For some of you, I'm wondering if it's like a boss or a mentor or something like that. So maybe, if it's a boss, obviously there could be like work issues going on here. Maybe that's why this person doesn't speak up. But, I think eventually they will. So I wouldn't worry about that. I also feel that King of Swords is talking about like needing to not be too serious. Remember what I was saying about play, like molding something like clay in your life. I feel sometimes we're like, oh, I can't play with my hobbies because I'm an adult. And I kind of feel like the King of Swords is saying, Don't think like that. Think more Six of Cups, Sun. I want to have fun, right? With the Hierophant, you have the Strength card. See, in a lot of ways, I feel that you are being lifted up, plain and simple, because of certain actions that you've taken. Remember what I said at the beginning of the reading about the kind of like the time being right? I was getting something about that. The Strength card, I feel, is saying you've done a certain amount of work on yourself, and that's why you're manifesting something pretty important here, I feel. With the Strength card, yeah, this has been a lot of work. I feel you've really been working very hard to manifest the things that you want and desire in your life, and you're like right there. I always say that. Personally, I like the Ten of Wands. He's about to reach his village back here. He's about to put down his burdens. He's about to, release the heavy weight. So I feel for a lot of you that you're about to put down your burdens. I feel like you're about to release your, the heavy weight, and you're about to have a harvest. That's a harvest that he is carrying. So, to me, it's not really a bad card. To me, it's a good card, and I love it. We're going to pull 5 main themes for you as well right now, Cancer. So you have this July card. This card says July on it. Yes, I understand that we are in November, but the card says July. You have this Dark Woman card. It says dealings or relationships with a woman with dark complexion or hair. So for some of you, it could be any person. I do feel like this could be love coming in for you. I feel like they could be born in July, so they could be a Leo. I am kind of getting Leo here. You have the Sun. You have the Strength card twice as well. So definitely could be a Leo. Could also be your energy showing up here, and there is a Sun here. I don't think anything is happening in July coming up or anything like that. I feel like this is more talking about attention and you getting a lot of attention on yourself. You have the Sun and the Star. So, and that card has a big Sun on it. I feel like that Dark Woman could be you. It could just be saying, and again, I don't attach gender to my cards. I feel like it's just you showing up in the reading, and there's clearly a lot of attention coming in for you. You have this Apple card. It says temptation will test you. Pisces had the same exact card. I would say like maybe Mars retrograde. We can be tempted to get angry. We can be tempted to lash out at people. I feel like this is saying don't do it. I would be careful of temptation. Again, can we clarify this as well? You have this hand card. It says in need of help or guidance. So I would be careful if anyone is kind of putting their hand out to you expecting something. I am getting here, Cancer, that I would be very careful of expectations. Like if you have people in your life who have certain expectations, it's like, did they earn the right to have the expectation in the first place? Like if someone's reaching their hand out, asking for money, it's one of those things where it's like, did they earn it? Number one. Number two, what I would say here is I feel like there could be some people who kind of see you becoming successful, maybe not right now, although I think there is success for you right now, but I'm saying like in the future, there might be people who see you being successful and they put their hand out. I would be very careful of that. It could be this type of combination to me could say that you won't get the money back. So I'd be careful of that. You have this Bow card. It says you are very highly thought of. I am kind of getting here as well that if you want a raise, promotion, or if you want like a new position at work, that now would be the time to ask for it, because again, it's like the timing is right with the Hierophant twice. It's almost like the way, your boss could just be seeing you in a better light. And maybe be just for no real reason other than the time, because the timing is right. So I think it would be a good time for you to ask for those things. Also, if you're interested in a person, same thing. I think like the time is right. You're being seen in a different light is what I'm getting here. And I feel it's like really a good thing. You have this Tiger card. It says doing something risky, taking a chance. I'm kind of a big fan of taking risks, not just right now, but for the rest of your life, basically, because I don't really think that playing it safe is a good idea in as far as the astrology is concerned. We're living in a time where it's like really, I think the risk takers are the ones that are going to become successful. So what type of risk should you be taking? Well, you should be taking a sun and a star risk is what I would say to you. We're entering into the time of Aquarius. I literally say this all the time. The biggest risk we can take right now is the risk of exposure, the risk of, putting out a YouTube video and being wrong, the risk of, publicly speaking and being wrong, the risk of asking for a raise and being wrong, right? So really, it's not a risk. The risks that we are being asked to take are Star card, Aquarius, getting attention, shining our inner light. But if you take the risk, you're going to be very successful. Finally, you have this Frying Pan card. It says trouble, accusations. Again, I've only done 2 readings so far, and Clearly, there's something going on, I feel, maybe in the astrology or something, because, again, Pisces had very similar cards as far as these 5 main themes. And, again, Mars retrograde. It's like we're kind of at the, entering into the hot part of Mars retrograde. As we get closer and closer to the middle, then, that's when kind of these retrogrades are the strongest. So I'd be careful of gossip, especially Mars retrogrades in Gemini. I mean, this is why this has been coming up. Because it's in Gemini. I feel there could be a lot of gossip and things like that. I always tell people, guess what? Not even worth worrying about, because you should just ignore it and just pretend it doesn't even exist, because that's the best thing you can do with Mars retrograde, is just kind of pretend that it's not happening. And then again, if you're worried about people talking about you after the retrograde, you will always be proven right. That's the thing. I've seen it happen over past retrogrades and things like that as well. So definitely a very interesting, very interesting time. But again, I would be trying to get attention here. A lot of good stuff coming in for you. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it, Cancer. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.